Are solar panels worth it in the UK? Solar panels absorb sunlight and turn it into electricity, and since the UK isn't exactly famous for its sunny weather, it begs the question, can you generate enough electricity from solar panels in the UK to make them worth the cost? These days, solar panels on top of roofs has become an increasingly common sight. And while the technology has existed since way back in 1883, their use has grown exponentially since the 90s. They've gone from a futuristic extravagance to a very practical way to reduce your energy bills and to protect your home from the shock of price hikes. And while the cost of solar panels has dropped dramatically in recent years, they do still require significant upfront expense to get them set up. So the big question remains, are solar panels worth it in the UK? If you're looking at getting solar panels installed, there are 4 numbers you need to check to see if it's going to be worth it for your home. The first number is the installation cost. Now, these vary from home to home, and they include everything from scaffolding and installation labour to the cost of the panels themselves. As a rough guide, smaller homes are going to cost between £4,000 and £6,000. Medium-sized homes with 3 beds are going to cost you around £6,000 to £8,000, and larger homes are going to cost between £8,000 and £11,000. Other factors that could impact the cost are things like the size and type of your roof, the number of stories of your house, and if your house happens to be a listed building. And if you want to add a battery to store your solar energy, that's typically an extra £3,000 or £4,000 for a standard 5 kilowatt hour battery, or £5,000 to £7,000 for a larger 10 kilowatt hour battery. So if you want to find out more, you can now get a quote from several UK solar panel companies on Uswitch. So start by filling in some of these details to see how much you're going to need to pay to get started on your solar panel journey. The second number is how much sunshine you get. The amount of direct sunshine your home gets will vary greatly depending on where you live in the UK. Those down in Dorset will likely get more sunshine than homes up in Aberdeen, but that's not the only factor. A south-facing home with an unobstructed roof will get the most sunlight onto its solar panels throughout the year. So if your house happens to be overshadowed by tall buildings or tall trees, that could impact the amount of solar power your panels could generate, even more so than the orientation of your roof. The average UK household would need to get an average of 4 hours of sunshine a day to power their homes. The third number is how much energy you use. If you are able to generate plenty of electricity with your solar panels, the bigger question is, will you actually use it? A typical 4 kilowatt system generates around 3,500 kilowatt hours of renewable energy per year. And by using that power yourself, rather than buying it from the grid, that's where you're going to get real savings. A typical 4-panel setup typically generates around 3 to 6 kilowatt hours a day. If you're a family of 4, then this will go a long way towards charging all your devices, running the washing machine and dishwasher multiple times a day, plus cooking meals for the whole family. However, if you're a single person or a household of 2 or 3, a lot of that could go to waste. So remember, solar panels obviously generate electricity during the day. If you're not at home during that time and instead use the majority of your power at night, most of this generated electricity will go to waste or back into the grid, unless you have a battery, which will add into your installation costs. So the final number to bear in mind is your energy tariff, including buying and selling rates. How much are you currently paying for your electricity? The bigger your current bill, the more you stand to save by getting solar panels and covering the cost. Some energy suppliers will also buy back the excess electricity that your panels produce and your home doesn't use. This is called the Smart Export Guarantee, or the SEG, which launched in 2020. Rates vary by supplier and can be anything above 0p, so it does pay to shop around. If you get a higher rate for this, it will add to your savings each month and help offset the cost of installing the panels. It's also a cheaper and easier way to make use of unused energy generated during the day versus installing a battery to store it, but isn't as good value for money as storing it. Remember, solar panels are a long-term investment and they can last up to 30 years, with maintenance costs being very low. There is professional cleaning, which costs around 80 to 150 quid for a typical home and is recommended every 12 to 18 months. So on top of these savings, the environmental upside is real. A 4 kilowatt system saves around roughly 0.5 to 0.6 tons of CO2 per year. And that's the equivalent of planting 25 or 30 trees or driving a petrol car 1,500 fewer miles. So are solar panels worth it in the UK? The answer isn't a universal yes. It will depend on your roof, your usage, and of course your quote. For most households, payback typically takes 7 to 10 years. After that, the savings are essentially money in your pocket. If you want to work it out, grab your annual kilowatt hour from your energy bill, your daytime usage pattern, and then get a couple of quotes from installers for a proper side-by-side comparison. To find out more and to get a quote, visit uswitch.com.